It has hardly been smooth sailing for the cruise lines lately, despite that song. You've seen the headlines: fires on board, power outages at sea, and stomach bugs in the cabin. Trust in the industry is now down 12% last year, and 11% think that the quality is taking a hit too. 13% of those surveyed say they are less likely to book a cruise these days. But one of the people trying to right the ship is Adam Goldstein. He's the newly named president and chief operating officer of Royal Caribbean Cruises and joins us at the table. Hello, Adam Goldstein. Good to see you.
Hi, Gail. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you here, because you were the big cheese before, now you're the big cheese. So I'm wondering, congratulations on that. Is it tough to be you these days? Because most of the time when you ask people about a cruise, they look like they've bitten a lemon. Yeah. They're like, I'm not doing that.
We are fortunate that even right now, we're taking about 1 million people a year on cruises who have never been on a cruise ship before. So we have to work harder. We have to tell our story better of all the wonderful innovations and features that are on our ships. But people are still responding. And the most important thing is that the guests who have been on in the past, they know how great it is, and they come back.
Well, not the guests who've gotten the norovirus, though.
Which is something like a fraction of 1%. But really what's important is that we take care in everything that we do. So when it relates to anything, for example, of that sort, the protocols, the approaches that our people take, and the training that they have to minimize the spread of illness, for example, is top-notch. And you're in very good hands when you're on board our ships.
But are you saying we don't have problems and we simply have a failure to communicate our story?
No, this has been 2 or 3 tough years for the industry. Even though events are, the kind of events that we have experienced in the last year or two are very unusual, they have happened.
And why?
Hard to say why they've happened. It seems in an unusual concentration. But as I say, the people who cruise with us, our customer base, they know the experience, the training, the discipline of our people and how dedicated they are to their welfare. They know the improvements that the industry continues to make, and they know that it's a great vacation experience.
Well, then what about the first time cruise? Listen, I'm an experienced cruiser.
Yes.
So, and I get it. I've taken 13 people actually on one of your ships years ago, and to this day, my family says, I would go back. My family says one of the best vacations they have. I get that.
Yes.
But what about the first time cruisers, though, Adam? Because they're just looking at the news, and all you guys are painted with the same brush.
There's no question that the biggest challenge facing the industry today is to convince potential first-time cruisers to come on board. So even though I say we've been successful with 1 million a year, that's the biggest challenge we have. We've got to really stress all the great benefits of cruising, the phenomenal features, the innovations that are being brought on our ships and other ships, and show that we care about everything that relates to their cruise vacation. But it's a big job, and we have a lot of work to do.
So just to address that concern, for vacationers who think that a cruise ship is a floating petri dish and are concerned about norovirus, how do you answer those concerns?
We start out by saying that it's the second most common illness in the world in general, and it happens with much greater incidence on the land than it does on board our ships. And the dedication and the techniques and the protocols that we have to minimize the spread of norovirus are state-of-the-art in the world on board our ships. And then the other thing is, the reason why people know about us in this respect, for better or for worse, is that we have to report to the authorities. We're the only industry, segment, business, area of life that has to tell people officially if there are any illnesses on board. So it's easier to know. But the care and the attention that we give on board the ship in this area is second to none.
So take an example of the fires. When you look at that and examine what happened, do you find that your staff and your people acted within the best sense of safety?
Oh, yes. I think we had 7 different independent reports of the fire that happened on board our ship last year that concluded that the training of our people and the actions of our people were exactly what was called for to respond to the incident. And we're very proud of what they did. And the guests were very proud of what they did as well. But we still look all the time. We look for ways to improve. We say there is no such thing in our business anyway as perfect safety. But what there can be and what we try to demonstrate is perfect dedication to safety. And that's how we move forward.
Things seems to be going okay, though, for Royal Caribbean, despite all that we've heard, because you're expanding to Asia. That's big.
This is, yes, we've given big news this week. We're very pleased about it. We're taking our new cruise ship, Quantum of the Seas, that will come to the New York area this fall. and do the winter season out of New York to the Caribbean and the Bahamas. We just announced yesterday that we are taking her to Shanghai, China in the spring of 2015. That is a huge move in the cruise industry, to take such a new ship, such an amazing ship with a skydiving experience and a mechanical arm that takes you 300 feet above the water and a lot of other features to China. But it shows the global development of cruising and in particular the success that we're having in China.
All right, Adam Goldstein, thank you for joining us.